Hello everyone. We are now in an important topic in English language, that is phrase. First of all, we have to know the definition of phrase. The definition of phrase is a group of words where subject and finite verb will be absent. We can see here on the board there are two examples we try to show our audience or our scholars that the boy on the bus. Here in the example, many words, but here subject and finite verb is absent. Another example is a beautiful morning. In that example, also subject and finite verb absent. Now, a question can be raised that what is subject actually? Subject is the doer. Here, no word we can see that act as a subject, and there is no finite verb also. What is finite verb? Finite verb follows number, person, and tenses. We know all. So in this example, there is two example we try to show that uh, the boy on the bus and a beautiful morning. In these two examples, we can't find any subject and any finite verb. That is why these examples are a group of words and these are phrases. Okay, I think who are watching, I think they can understand it very well. And there are mainly three types of phrases in English language. Mainly, first of all, noun phrase, adjective phrase, and adverbial phrase. Now we are going to noun phrase, and first of all we have to know that what is noun actually. Noun phrase actually works as noun or like a noun, or noun can be placed as a subject or object. Okay, here we are trying to show an example that qualifying in the admission test is not easy. Qualifying in the admission test, here underlined phrases qualifying in the admission test. In that line there is nothing about subject or finite verb. That is why it is phrase. And what type of phrase it is actually? This phrase plays the position of subject. That is why we can say this is noun phrase, and a noun phrase can be replaced by it. If we write down here in the underlined words, it is not easy, or qualifying in the admission test, it can be replaced by it. If it is possible, that will be noun phrase. Okay, and here another example that he likes writing long emails. Long emails. See here, writing long emails means here nothing subject or nothing finite verb, right? That is why it is phrase. But now question is what type of phrase it is. And if you question to a verb, what likes, the answer comes writing long poems. And we know if you question to a verb by what and whom and get answer, that will be object. So obviously it is object. And we previously mentioned that uh, noun can be object, noun can be subject, so it is object. So that is noun clause. Now we are going to another phrase, that is adjective phrase. Now we are in an adjective phrase. First of all, we have to know the definition of adjective. The definition of adjective is adjective modifies or qualifies noun and pronouns. Okay, and adjective phrase behaves like an adjective. Here we can see that a thing of beauty is a joy forever. We underline of beauty. This is phrase. We know phrase is group of words, and more than our words, where we can't find subject and finite verb. Here we can't see subject and finite verb, but here some words. That is why it is phrase. Now we have to find out what type of phrase it is actually. Of beauty, it modifies the thing, noun. That is why it is adjective phrase. I think you understand all. And here we can see that Hassan is a man of letters. Man of letters means scholar. Okay, we underline of letters. Of letters here phrase, and it modifies the man. Man here is noun. That is why it is adjective phrase. But here we can see a thing of beauty is a joy for her. If we underline, hold the line, a thing of beauty. This is phrase, but in this phrase, the position of this phrase is subjective places. That is why it will be noun phrase. If we underline just of beauty, then it will be adjective phrase because it modifies the noun. Now we are going to adverb phrase. Here we can see the last but not the least, adverbial phrase. First of all, previously, like earlier topic, we have to know the definition of adverb. Adverb modifies all the parts of a speech except noun and pronoun. Or we can, if we ask the verb by or question the verb by how, where, when, and why, and get answer, that will be adverb. Or where means place, and when means time, and why means reason, and how means manner. Okay, by this word, if you question to verb and get an answer, that will be object. Okay, and we informed that if you question to the verb by this and get answer, that will be adverb. And adverb modifies all the parts of a speech except noun and pronoun. Here we can see that he lives in suburb of city or Dhaka. In underlined words, in suburb of city. This is phrase obviously. Here we can't find subject and finite verb. And another example is in the room and in November. These are phrases actually. And what type of phrases? In this phrase, that is modifies life, that is verb. We know that adverb modifies all the parts of speech. Here verb, when a phrase, when a word modifies the verb, that can be, must be adverb. And here the suburb city also refers or indicates a place. Where, when indicates, that will be adverb. In the room, place, in November, times, it refers time, that why it is adverbial phrase. I think who are watching this phrase class, and they can get understand easily. Now, the last but not the least, now we are going to a prepositional phrase. We know whenever a phrase behaves like preposition, that will be prepositional phrase. But there will be some confusion also. We will try to make clear it. Here we can see that Masoom stood in front of me. In front of me. This is phrase. This is phrase. Obviously phrase, and this is modifies the verb stood. So obviously it must be adverbial phrase. If there will there if there is options for in that question, and there if there are two options like adverbial options, adverbial phrase or prepositional phrase, so we must go for adverbial phrase first of all. And if there is missing adverbial phrase, we obviously go the alternative options, that is prepositional phrase. Here in front of, we can write it instead of before. We can alter it by before. Before here is preposition. And we went to Dhaka with a view to visiting museum. Here with a view to is obviously is a phrase, and it modifies the Dhaka. So it is noun phrase. Okay, uh, it is noun phrase not. If we question that why we went to Dhaka actually, it modifies the verb ঠিক আছে, we went to with a we went to Dhaka with a view to, it modifies not Dhaka actually, it modifies on. That is why it is adverbial phrase. If there is option missing like adverbial phrase, so we have to go the second option, that will be prepositional phrase, and we can reform it, we can alter it by two. So that is prepositional phrase. And whenever we can't see the prepositional phrase in option section, we have to go adverbial or adverbial phrases. But whenever in a question, two options are available: adverbial phrases or prepositional phrases. So first of all, we have to priority for adverbial phrase. So I think who are watching our phrase my phrase class, they can get clearance about their confusion, and they can add something new in their mindset. Thank you for watching.